Thank you to the Cergy University Advanced Studies Director and the community for hosting me in this month. I'm happy to have this opportunity to put together different domains of my work in the latest years in this seminar. My name is Alessandra Manzini. I'm an autopsive Marie Curie postdoctoral researcher, both at the Placid Lab in Cergy University and Campus Group at UPF in Barcelona, in the field of cultural geography, advanced statistical ethnoarchaeology, and political ecology. I'm conducting the PIRA project, a cross-cultural comparative study on spiritual landscapes and traditional forest management practices worldwide. So, drawing on my previous experience as principal investigator on circular economy in the context of TUBOS project, financed by ERAMI 3, European Research and Innovation Program on Raw Materials to Foster Circular Economy, the actual research ongoing in West African coast started in 2021, intersecting case studies with SPIRA project. The seminar explored the challenges of a just transition at the intersection of science, innovation, and political ecology by evaluating mining and extraction mechanisms in indigenous territories along the coast of West Africa. The focus on science and innovation particularly addresses value chains of raw materials necessary to sustain the twin transition globally, digital and energetic. Specifically, the lecture focuses on the application of key evaluation tools, such as the social life cycle assessment, the hotspot analysis along the value chains of mineral extraction, the environmental and social impact assessment that should precede the authorization of mining activities. These instruments aim to direct attention to the affected communities and should include the first prior informed consent, empowering local people to decide on the future of their territory. The lecture presents two empirical case studies in West Africa, where extraction activities began in agro-ecosystem, protected marine terrestrial zones, and it examines how global policy and corporate strategies seeking essential raw materials face resistance from local activist groups. Despite the effectiveness of territorial defense mechanisms, this activist logic persists, disregarding both landscape protection laws and local people consent. This is the table of contents, so I will start with a spiral hypothesis, giving you a brief introduction on what I'm conducting right now and how it intersects the seminar contents of today, presenting some preliminary results within the framework of the big data analysis. Then the ecoregions and the selection of case studies, the ecological mining conflicts that I've chosen to present today, the intersection with the evaluation assessment tools in the raw materials criticality domain. And then again, we come back to the case studies and I give you some insights on the mechanism in action on the territories and how these intersect with my research project. A few takeaways. So, PIRA is a cross-cultural study of spiritual landscape management practices based on the findings of my PhD, which studied the dynamics of transition in eco-villages of Senegal. At the same time, it has been drawing new perspective as it recognized that a cross-cultural approach and a quantitative statistical evaluation was needed to contribute to a more holistic and inclusive approach to understanding management forest ecosystem at the planetary scale. The proposal seeks also to include traditional ecological knowledge in policy-making processes and global forest conservation strategy. Ultimately, SPIRA focuses on the importance of local women organizations and their roles in landscape sustainability and biodiversity conservation in the context of sacred forests. So the three main hypotheses are models that incorporate traditional ecological knowledge better explain agroforestry practices in sacred forests compared to models that do not include it. Social ecosystems are more resilient when local women organizations are empowered. And three, the social ecological system of agroforest generate endogenous adaptation and resistance strategies rooted in traditional ecological knowledge. So the first phase of the project was our research in the HRAF, World Cultures and Displays database, with a keyword redundant analysis, searching for sacred groves, bois sacré, and other keywords in 400 different societies that were coded and collected in this ethnographic atlas made by Murdoch in 2008. And what we found is that 72 societies were right in the ethnographic record that we have, mostly in the last century, present sacred groves. And these records are intersected with the environmental conflict atlas that is run by the ICSA Web Research Group, guided by Martinez Allier and Schneider, where distributed ecological conflicts are encoded and analyzed comparatively. So another layer of big data analysis is the biomes based on the World WWF mapping of ecoregions. And what I'm doing now is an analysis of this intersection and how the factors correlate to each other. I'm also considering other important data, such as the religious beliefs and the demographic data, plus the subsistence type, so the kind of economy the societies are based on. And all this will be providing a model that focus on regularities among and differences among these societies in the relation between forest management practices, traditional ecological knowledge, and all the related factors. So going to the ecoregions, this is the first map that is a result of this mask on ecological zone, extracted on the base of cultural societies that have these sacred groves present. Based on this, I've selected three case studies in three different ecoregions. So one ecoregion is the Indo-Burmese for its priority on biodiversity conservation worldwide. The second ecoregion is the one that I was based in the last 5 years for my research and PhD, is the Guinean forest of West Africa, where I'm also building a network of researchers that are encouraging a census of sacred forests for monitoring and assessing the vegetation dynamics compared to protected areas, sustaining that sacred forests are more adapted to the context of Africa and are more respected than protected areas. and tropical Andes, where I'll be conducting a field work in July in the camps and territories of Pasto province in between Colombia and Ecuador, where my aunt had been working for 30 years as an anthropologist. And I'll be mostly look at the archives of my family. Yeah. So here I give you an overview of the 36 ecoregions that are present on Earth. And they are qualified for the presence of vernacular plant, vascular plant, endemic species. And they should have lost at least 70% of its their primary native vegetation to be indexed as priority for hotspot as hotspot areas for biodiversity conservation. So sacred forests in the periphery of Guinea forests of West Africa ecoregion are established typologies of forest management models based on traditional ecological knowledge. And they are in threat. The main threats of the ecoregion are mostly the demographic pressure, economic pressure, so increasing demand for agricultural land, food, timber, bushmeat, and mineral resources, and changes in cultural and religious beliefs that lead to loss of power for traditional authorities to protect sacred forests. So this is the main intersection. So economic pressure and extraction frontier of minerals. This is where I'm focusing today, especially in Africa. Entire state regimes often rely on exploitation of natural resources to finance political costs of the political class and to maintain a poor welfare state. However, while legislative frameworks exist to protect these sources, the enforcements remain largely insufficient. For example, mining protected areas, particularly those covered by the Ramsar Convention, raise the complex challenge of balancing biodiversity conservation with the extraction of natural resources. And the coasts of Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, and Gambia are particularly attractive for the formation of the paludism deposit of heavy mineral sand, valued by the global players for the presence of crucial minerals for the global economy. Heavy mineral sand deposits are sedimentary deposits that accumulate in coastal environment with sand, silt, clay, and other materials, and for localized concentration of dense heavy minerals. The twin transition and the digital transformation of energy are reshaping the industry globally. And as society moves towards more sustainable, digitally advanced cultures, raw materials play a crucial role in establishing this shift. Therefore, the assessment of value chains of raw materials needed for this transition is becoming increasingly important. And these raw materials support the infrastructure and technology required for both digital and energy innovation, from batteries and semiconductors to renewable energy systems. So I will give an overview of key evaluation tools that are currently applied in innovation and technology, especially for evaluating value chain sustainability. The critical raw materials are defined by the EU battery regulation as those raw materials that are most important economically and have a high supply risk. They are both economically important and vulnerable to supply disruption. Here we find the fourth list of critical raw materials for the European Union, with 30 raw materials classified as critical in 2020. 37 are now found in the GRC 2023. And since 2020, criticality assessment in global supply chain listed also titanium and rutile among the critical raw materials. Titanium is also on the list of materials covered by a double-stage supply risk assessment in Europe. However, in Africa, this double-stage supply risk assessment is mostly not performed. And it's also difficult to trace the supply chain because of the ephemeral nature of the investor profiles that are investing in Africa. So, what are the key evaluation tools that I'm taking into consideration? I'm talking about the life cycle assessment, which is a systematic method used to evaluate the environmental impacts of products and processes throughout its life cycle, from raw material extraction to disposal or recycling. The purpose is to assess sustainability and environmental impact of batteries, but also of other products. And the key focus is on raw material extraction, so assess the impact of mining, for example, for titanium, lithium, nickel, cobalt, the manufacturing phase, so the energy and resources used in the battery product based on the carbon footprint indicator, and use phase, so the energy efficiency and emission during the battery operation or the product operation, and the end of life, so the possibility of recycling the part. And the disposal of the single components of the product, and the rate also of material recovery, the potential for reducing waste that is design and embedding. So the life cycle inventory is another key phase of the life cycle assessment. For tracing raw materials, the goal of the S-LCA phase is to compile and quantify both inputs and outputs systematically, flows within a product system, creating a comprehensive inventory of all the resources used and the emissions for each stage of the product life cycle. The data is collected on each sub-processes within the system boundaries, including consumption, emission, product quantity, and weight. And this is the base for all the other evaluation of phases of the life cycle assessment, and also the social life cycle assessment. The social life cycle assessment evaluates the social and socioeconomic impact of products, processes, and services across the life cycle. It focuses especially on workers, communities, and societies, and it helps identify risk and opportunity across mining operations. Focus areas are human rights and labor conditions, especially equality and conditions, but also community health and safety, and stakeholder engagement and participation during the process of mineral extraction. Plus, there is the area of empowerment, so ensuring that mining activities respect community rights and social equity. And lately, there has been also consistent innovation in the product passport environment. So, especially in battery innovation, we have this battery pass guidelines for compiling the battery passport that should trace all the value chains of each component of the battery and provide transparency for the choices of the consumers regarding the sustainability of the product, and also the life cycle after use. So the product pass was established in 2024 and is still a novelty in the landscape of innovation in Europe. It's currently being pushed for being enforced from 2027. So industries have this buffer zone of 3 years to comply with the regulation of the battery regulation, the product pass regulation. And I invite you to also look at the ZRC carbon footprint rules for the EV industry and the global battery passport rulebook, that is a pre-competitive framework for analyzing the limitation of this battery pass and other product passport initiatives. Main limitations are transparency, issues, because industry usually don't want to fully share the ingredients of the product, so and the competitive advantage based on economic aspect of the raw material extraction. So the current goal of the Global Alliance is to push for this competitive arena to succeed in sharing the rules and let's say embed this new regulation in the behavior of industry that usually don't care about the impact on the territory and ecosystems, for example, in the raw material extraction processes, and other aspects of the value chain sustainability assessment. Another important tool, I think the most important one, is the ESIA, the Environmental and Social Impact Assessment. ESIA is a process to evaluate the environmental and social consequences of mining projects before the authorization. The purpose is to identify potential adverse impacts on local communities and ecosystems, ensuring compliance with law and rights. There are several steps during this process, and the steps are interways, so they are entangled with a participatory process that should inform the community locally about the constraints of each extraction project. So firstly, there is the scoping and the stakeholder engagement phase, where all the actors on the territory should be included, invited to the process. And then there is the identification of the potential impact. So assessing the social and economic dimension of the mining operation, so the benefit that should bring this project to the local community, and the changes in the livelihood, public health, labor condition, other disadvantages like displacement, changes in livelihood quality, ecosystem services disrupted, or rehabilitation processes or renaturalization processes that take more years for the ecosystem to rehabilitate, to restore. This consultation with stakeholder is an essential component of the ESIA process, and it ensures that the voices of those who may be directly or indirectly affected by the project are heard, and their concerns are considered in the decision-making process. Most of the time, this phase is done like formally as a procedural step, and so many reports consult a minority of the population, gives many also contradicting statements from traditional chefs or other public authorities, and don't inform the base, so the entire community. And it's one of the problem of the ESIA, especially in the African continent. The risk and mitigation management plan should, after identifying the potential impact, the ESIA process develop strategies and measures to mitigate adverse aspects. Usually, they include proposing solutions to reduce environmental harm and other social issues, and a monitoring and compliance plan once the mining project is approved. A set of framework for monitoring the environmental and social impacts over time, and also the sustainability and alternatives that should be explored beforehand, emphasizing yes, the overall impact of mining should be reduced, and also the effect on the population and the ecosystem. So, considering alternatives way of intervening in the process on the territory should be included in the process, and the consultation should inform a decision making based on these different stakeholders. So what happened is that most of the time there should be this important tool included in the ESIA process, and in all the mining projects is the first prior informed consent. It's one of the principles of the United Nations, so it should be applied internationally, as it's enforced internationally by law. Is the right of indigenous and local communities to give or withdraw consent to mining activities that affect their lands and resources. It should be free, so no coercion or manipulation in the decision-making process. It should be prior, so consent is sought before any exploration or development begins. Informed community receive all necessary information to make a decision with benefit, alternatives, impacts. And it should review a consent, so the right to accept or reject the project by the local community or indigenous group or different movement stakeholders. This is linked to the ESIA process, but also to the social life cycle assessment, and it should be always present. So these are the 3 case studies I have been working on in the latest 5 years, but I'll be focusing especially on Senegal and Guinea-Bissau, one that are where I've been in the last month, so I have fresh news to provide, and these are included in the AJ Atlas, so I'm redacting these case studies, inputting data in the AJ Atlas that I've presented before. And this is parallel case studies in Guinea-Bissau. It foresees 478 hectares of exploration of mining, heavy mineral sand mining project by the GFG International Corporation. This actor is a multinational based in Saudi Arabia, very ephemeral, with another headquarters in France, not far from here. And yeah, and a local base in Guinea-Bissau that has been opened in March 2023, so 2 months before the mining company started the project. Exactly in May 28, 2023, the company started activities of exploration, and they were immediately blocked by the local resistance of huge email groups. Movement. The resistance movement blocked the operation in May until December 2024. The ESIA process was conducted between from April to August 2023. It means that the process of ESIA was currently undergoing when the company began the manual operation, and this is really bad because it's illegitimate. And the local movement have different components. So there are NGOs, international NGOs, local associations that provide services to the population, and all the 16 villages of the province of Susanna are involved in the resistance movement, while the ESIA process covered just a few traditional chefs, especially the one in Karuhai that is governing the entire province. But all the chefs of the villages rejected the project during the consultation, and in the report, just a few voices were mentioned and neglected in the non-technical report. In January 2024, the community of Ninkin, a village that is along the coast, maybe I have here, exactly here, there is along the coast, it's really bad, the map is too small, but there is a small village of 50 families that live in balance with natural resources, and they were informed that they had 15 days to evacuate based on the request from the company. So a big mobilization of the women, especially of the women groups of the sacred forest of the 16 villages of Susanna, organized a demonstration to stop the evacuation in 2024. And they succeeded, so they stopped the company until December 2024. And then in January 2025, the government made a public hearing, also making it on the same day that one of the protesters' leader was brought in a civil tribunal for a company, how to say, suing. So this leader was sued by the company for posting something on social media about the injustice of this ESIA process. And in the same date, the government made the public hearings in the village of Ninkin, informing the population that there should be a compromise, and the population should start as soon as possible. The women, the day after, made a big ceremony, a traditional ceremony for halting the project, and they went there also without the reporting of, let's say, the journalists. So they didn't want to be reported. Sure. And they made this big demonstration in front of the company, and they asked the company and the project to permanently stop. And apparently they succeed. So the company has started to move away and take all and this happened also 10 years ago. So it's the second time that this women organization stop a project like that with actors of the exploration millions of investments. And now they are asking to be recognized as indigenous population to have enforcement, let's say, of their right to the land. As the land among the Jola is common, and they follow traditional rules to access the land. So, and most of all, these dunes, rice field, mangrove forest ecosystem are sacred, and this is why I'm studying this case, because it has all the elements of my hypothesis. So it is consistently resilient. So we have resilience in ecosystems, even if they are subjected to climate change. So there is erosion of the coast, there is sea level rise, and salt intrusion in the rice fields. So these people are also combating, how to say, for having their ecosystem health protected to face the climate change effect that will be more and more consistent in the future. So plus the women organizations are strong. They are based on traditional organization that meet in the sacrifice usually, and they have resistance, endogenous mechanism of resistance. So all the three hypotheses are matched. And fortunately, they will succeed also to be recognized as indigenous population by the big reporter, international reporter for human rights. Second case is Abenenia Frank. Here, the project of exploration of mineral sand extraction is has been started in 2003. So it's 20 years that Nia Frank population is resisting against this project, run by different companies that succeeded in the exploration and authorization issued by the government of Senegal. The first one was Astron Limited, succeeded by the Canargy Inc., based in Gambia. And now, after 10 years, the local population faced the threat of G-Stand, another small company based in Gambia that is actually starting, it has already started a mining ore, titanium ore, zinc ore in Abene. So what was the mechanism behind this frontier extraction part? It was the division of the villages. So in this territory, there is a big committee, international committee against zircon mining in Casamance. Casamance is a region apart, let's say, in the Senegal state. It was autonomous region during the colonial era, and when Senghor made the independence of the Senegal state from France, colonial power, this region was annexed. And since then, autonomous movement, the movement, the Force Democratique for the Liberation of Casamance, started to fight to have this autonomy recognized. And this movement is one of the actors in the arena that is also balancing, let's say, sometimes actually, how to say, controlling the base, so the local population, sometimes playing a major balance with the state one or with the companies to track them, let's say, if the project would have started. Here in Abene, the project started in 2024, so it's really recent. It's the first project in the Catalan coastline, and it was based on the divide and conquer mechanism. So the previous state, the Macky Sall region, government, sorry, the previous president of the state, the Macky Sall government, provided this authorization to descend this Gambian mining company for a little mine to start in Abene. What happened was that briberies took place and there was a lack of transparency in the ESIA process, and the consent was asked just to a small fraction of the population. The resistance started from the neighbor villages of Nya Frank, where a nucleus of resistance was already there since 20 years, and the recent one in Yana, the southern village at the border of Abene. And these two started to manifest their position and made manifestation, also put some sign on the borders, started to do street blockage and other tools that are usually foreseen by this resistance movement. So what happened is from this Abene and Guinea-Bissau case studies, what I've learned is that the ESIA tools is limited in its power of providing information and how to say raise a consent that is true and not how to say guided by the polluted with the economic interest. And because of the lack of how to say impartiality in the technical evaluation. So most of the time, the technical evaluators are how to say they are committed by the companies. So the companies have the power because they pay for the technical assessment, and usually they have this process that they have to submit the technical report to the state agencies, which are the same to authorize exploration processes. So this impartial triangulation make the local communities of the indigenous groups the fragile point of the triangle. And what I've been discussing with the movement, with the local resistance, with the scholars that are engaged in the process with action research methods like me, is to establish a transnational observatory on mining operation in West Africa, where different stakeholders, so NGOs, state agencies, university and research centers are engaged in the process, and should be also empowered. So the consent should be given by not just the two state or let's say the colluded technical advisor companies, but also making an effort to include institutions and check the impact and plan for restoration and consent from local communities are matched before starting any project. This is one of the proposals we do in our paper, especially one that we published last year for the Bogota LDPI land politics deal initiative that is also organized another conference this year in Cape Town. And I can provide reference to this. Then another important thing is that during the processes, the first prior informed consent should be taking place. So this is something that absolutely should be empowered. What else? There are limitations also in the S-LCA analysis and social S-LCA. So this product password or passport or these tools for evaluating novelty are usually important for making information, so for providing knowledge to the scientific community and to the consumers. So I hope that this passport legislation will help to transparency to be what to say, more consistent, and also to have more consumer awareness, let's say. So I hope this impact will be crucial to support more informed choices. But I may say that especially in the raw material extraction processes, the ecosystem based assessment, so the effect on social ecosystem are poorly taken in consideration, especially in S-LCA. They are taken in consideration in social S-LCA. However, social S-LCA analysis and Hotspot analysis don't have a standardized process to follow. So each time is in the hand of the scientific or the technical department of the companies involved. They are free to choose to do it or not. So I think there should be a more enforced process for novelty production take place. So these are my considerations. I don't know how much time I've spent, but I thank you all for your attention. The 2 points that I will be focusing on with the Spiral project during my fellowship. So I will also take it forward with an assessment of traditional ecological knowledge loss impacts on biodiversity conservation in these case studies. And I will take forward the cross-cultural data analysis to have more results on the behavior pattern regularities that I can find out in the different ecoregions and case studies. So thank you again, and if you have any question or comments, I'm free to share your feedback, and I'll be happy to try to answer.